my friends were getting together on Sunday, and they want to watch a movie. And he said, oh, it's not available to rent yet. And I was like, bitch, I own it. I own it on Blu-ray.
Don't you know who I am?
What movie?
Holdovers.
Ah, yes.
Golden Globe award-winning Paul Giamatti.
Oh, I love Paul Giamatti. You know who else I love? Jeffrey Wright.
You have every right to love Jeffrey Wright.
Yes, and there was no American fiction about it.
We want to put him on the cover in one of those scarves, I guess you would call them, tied around his head.
A do-rag?
Do-rag, that's it. Do-rag and a tank top with the muscles showing.
Something called the fire department.
Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Keystone Film Review. We just saw American Fiction, directed and written for the screen by Cord Jefferson, based on the book by Percival Everett, starring Jeffrey Wright, Trace Ellis Ross, John Ortiz, Keith David, Issa Rae, Sterling K. Brown, and others. This is based on a novel. I forget the title of the novel. Erasure. It's based on the book Erasure, and it is about an author who is black, and he whatever. He's an author. He's black, and he can't get published because he is too smart for the world.
Yeah.
And has to dumb himself down and push African American stereotypes in order to sell a book, and that's the movie.
Yeah.
It's about that, and we saw it. Glenn,
Yeah.
what did you think of this?
Oh, man.
Do you want to talk about the crowd first?
Let's talk about that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So this was, we went to Bryn Mawr. We treated ourselves.
Yes.
For a time, since it's been a while. And
Nearly a year, I think.
Nearly a year, roughly. And so this theater was actually pretty packed before we even got in there. Our show was at 4, and I think we rolled around roughly like 3:55 because we got some nummy treats right before. The theater was a little packed with what you could smell in the crisp thin air as wheat thins and 401k surroundings. There's a lot of white people in that theater, which somehow made me feel uncomfortable.
Bryn Mawr is a pretty rich area. Mm-hmm. Driving here, we pass a lot of mansions. Mm-hmm. We're not from a rich area. We're not from a not rich area, but we're not from a rich area.
Yeah.
We're from like a middle to lower middle class area.
Yeah.
Too much information. Anyway, so a lot of old white people retired and living off pensions and or 401ks and or IRAs, Roth IRAs, all that financial stuff that we've never had the money to partake in anyway because we're millennials. And it was just kind of surreal watching that movie with that crowd.
Super surreal watching that movie with that crowd, knowing that they, I think, know the plot. Yeah, and so like they had to know the plot going into it, because most of the other movies we've seen have not been that crowded, at least. So it was just kind of funny. It was like a, oh god, I mentioned this on the way out. It was like a get out crowd. Yep. It was just funny, the context of what the movie was.
Couple turtlenecks.
Couple. I think they're just necks, turkey necks. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
We're coming off way too hard on these white people.
We're going to be them one day, so.
But, no, it was just really funny to go in to see that crowd on the context of what that movie was about.
Yeah.
And not knowing if they necessarily get that it's kind of aimed towards them or not.
I think they do. I've been to Bryn Mawr enough to know that whether performative or not, they are relatively self-aware. Mm-hmm. I've seen movies like this there, and it always gets a good reaction. No one is ever like offended by any of it.
Yeah, there's no one in the crowd that I'm necessarily coming at. It's just the context of what it was.
We're included in that crowd, on the poorer spot.
I happen to be super duper pale.
Yeah.
It was just the context of it and all that. I mean, no animosity towards that crowd in any way. But
we were part of the problem.
Yeah, we were part of the
problem. We're the only white people in that theater.
It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that being said, this movie was made with a lot of knowing that most likely there's probably going to be a white crowd with it, and they put in a lot of jokes knowing that there was going to be, and it got a lot of, you could tell some of the jokes in the movie was catered to what those people specifically were going to laugh at. And I sat there, I'm like, there's going to be white people laughing at that joke. It's like a cue card. Like, laugh.
I was one of those white people laughing.
I was too, but I was like, this is actually going to get some laughs here in a second, and then it did. It catered really well to knowing what the crowd was going to be like.
Self-aware white people.
Yeah.
If white people that are like, oh, this isn't what America's like, the white people that are in denial probably will not like it, but the white people that are, aware of their privilege and the situation of, media catering, all movies about black people are about slavery or police brutality or drug dealing and all that.
Somewhere along the lines there.
It's better now, but that used to be the case for a long time.
But I mean, it catered very well to knowing what its audience was going to be for the most part, and then it catered very well to being as serious as it could be for its concept. I thought it was really great. Jeffrey Wright was amazing. Sterling K. Brown was awesome. I love that man. He's so beautiful.
He's good in everything.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Watch Hot Ones. His
Hot Ones is one of the best Hot Ones.
It is. He's an enigma in the best of ways. I think the only thing that really kept this movie down is kind of, for me, like the soundtrack was a little like some of the theme of it in ways didn't feel like it mended well with the tone of what it was. So like he'd kind of be getting like little jazzy flutes and stuff like that, and then he'd just be like, it felt like a side quest, and you'd be getting like jazzy flutes and stuff like that. Like he's like ripping books off a shelf, and
it doesn't stick out in necessarily the best way. Like it's not bad music. It does what is necessary for the film, but it at times
it didn't feel like
tonally
it didn't fit.
Doesn't
tonally,
fit.
yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parts where it felt like it did.
Yeah.
But
overall, it fits tonally.
Yeah.
But like for specific scenes, they'll play like it's just weird choices. It's not necessarily bad. It's just weird choices. I'm with you there. I love the movie. I think the music. I don't even want to say it's weak. It's just the least, impressive part of it. It took a while to get going. The first 15, 20, I mean the plot. The film was always interesting.
Yeah.
But for the plot of, he is not a failed published author, but he hasn't published in a long time. And he's just, that whole plot took about like 30 minutes to even like get off the ground. But it was more than that. It was about him and his family dynamic, and what the author of the fictional author that Jeffrey Wright plays wants to tell the world, which is a story of an average black family in America, which which not that different from any other family. At first I was just kind of like, okay, this is taking a little too long, but it kind of clicked about halfway through that that's what was going on. Once I realized that it was okay, it was just my dumb brain took a while to figure that out.
You've got a fantastic brain. You take that back right now.
That's so smooth. No, wait, no, smooth is bad. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. I was one of those white people, following the cue cards that Glenn mentioned, where it's like, white people laugh now. It's just a fun film, but with a lot of heart, and really kind of pokes fun at like the whole entertainment industry in a way that I think is
how predictable it can be.
How predictable. And how offensive their bluntness can be, just in like the
straight blatant.
Yeah. So yeah, I really liked it. I think it's a fun movie. All the acting is great in it. I don't know if I have any qualms really.
The only lull, I think the pacing in the beginning was actually good. I actually think it went a little too fast.
It was good. It just took a while to get to the actual plot.
Yeah. The first like 10 minutes when the sisters introduced and everything, I think went by so fast. I was like, man, I was really enjoying that, but that was kind of the point.
Yeah.
The only qualm that I kind of had was at the end of the movie when they had this like kind of multiple choice ending thing.
It's a clue ending.
Yeah.
It's a clue ending where they have 3 different endings but it's all done in the guise of this is the story that he's telling,
Yeah.
and he's being told to do a different ending.
I mean, in the end of how that was playing out, I thought it was funny that he was doing, or they were doing that.
Yeah.
But it just, at that, it didn't feel like it was going from A to B. It went A to B and then C, D, E, multiple choice. I was like, ooh, whoa, okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like
Abrupt.
it hit the brakes real fast on what was going on, which in a way is the point.
Yeah, it was still good, regardless. But
Yeah.
it was just like a random, like, oh, detour. Hey,
But the story that was being told was so good that I kind of wish that wasn't a part of it. But it's fine. Like it
fine.
didn't ruin the movie outright for me. It's just the story I was really interested in, which again might be the point where like producers and executives ruin stories by pushing them to be changed and everything. But yeah, it's a great movie. It's fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously, even though the message is relatively serious. And yeah, it's just a good time.
good old time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ratings?
I am feeling a 4, like a 6 solid 4, like higher upper echelon of the 4.
Oh.
Yeah, like a nice crisp high 4. You just remove the thumb and it's like bam.
I'm with you. I think it's a nice solid 4. That's the first number that comes to mind. I don't feel going either way. It's really good. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect to be a great film. And I had a lot of fun watching it. And Jeffrey Wright needs to be in more.
He does.
People need to start hiring Jeffrey Wright. Start casting him in things. Because he's great. If you saw American Fiction, let us know what you thought down in the comments below. If you wrote a book, what curse word would you name it? Mine would be bastard.
Oh shit. Oh, it's got a ring to it.
Yeah.
Yucky too.
Yeah. What about you?
Shit.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you were making that joke or not, but he was. But yes, let us know down in the comments, and we'll see you the next time we watch a movie. Oh, we won't see you, but you'll see us.
You'll see us.
Sorry about that.
We'll also see you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.